Good afternoon, everybody. How are you doing today? 24th of September, 2025. Nice, wonderful, cloudy day outside here at Elk Grove. Looks like it wants to rain, but we're not sure. I prefer it rain today as opposed to tomorrow. I'd like to invite you all to a meet and greet donation fundraiser at the South Slope Wines and Bistro. Let me bring up their card right there. South Slope Wines and Bistro here at 10527 Sheldon Road. It's right at the corner of Sheldon Road and Grant Line Roads in Elk Grove, California. Mr. Miles McMahon has been gracious enough to allow us to use his facility. It is a disclaimer. This is no way an endorsement by his staff, himself, or his facility. We're just utilizing it for the purposes of meeting a California candidate governor, that myself, Leo Naranjo IV. You have the opportunity to meet me, have conversations, questions, anything that you have on your mind that you'd like to see addressed by a candidate. Right now, it seems I'm the only Northern California candidate running around up here, while everybody else is a Southern California candidate, and that comes with its own unique blend of problems. One of those problems that we have right now surfacing in the news, once we get past all the hoopla surrounding Prop 50, is the little city of Ileton. This little city of Ileton has roughly 800 people in it, 794 by last census count, and they are undergoing a financial crisis, $4 million hole, $4 million deficit. They've tried to borrow money from the county of Sacramento to the tune of $800,000. I'm not sure what that was supposed to do for a $4 million problem, but they seem to be right now rebuffed from California, the Sacramento City Council, because they're not sure it's a wise investment. One of the recent news articles posted that the interim mayor, Mr. Kent, is sitting down with his staff, letting the public know that yes, they are operating still on a black gold card credit card, which is kind of odd. If you can't pay your debts, why are you still running them up? So for a town of 800 people, just to let you know what a $4 million deficit is, that comes to approximately $5,038 per person that each individual who lives in that little town would have to pay additional to get them out of their financial morass. And of course, I'd like to open up and extend the potential to Ileton to have a conversation, to sit down with a candidate and to go through what it is you have financially to repair the damage to your little city. Currently, they're trying to sell off two of their fire engines, one which still had a payment debt attached to it. They're laying off a few staff members. They seem to be laying off all the service staff members for some strange reason. But without knowing exactly what's in their books, without knowing exactly where they're spending their money, how much they're getting, where it's coming from, what's the total pot, to see what they have to work with, as opposed to the total debt to see what they're paying out, I can only give you the recommendations based on my experiences and what I know on how to resolve their problem. And again, I offer out to the folks in Ileton, their county council, their city council, excuse me, if they would like to have that sit down conversation, that we can iron out how $800,000 is supposed to keep you solvent when your debt is $4 million in total. Let's have that conversation. Let's be real and honest about it. Definitely would need to see the books. I'm not here to do any audit. I'm here to look at what you have, what's going out, and where the appropriate cuts can be made. Something I've done many times in many years of my experience with the military and with the county in Sacramento under the welfare system. So you have a person here that's willing to help you out before you become a bankrupt little city and then no longer in a city, but part of the greater South Sacramento community, i.e. you belong to the county. Let's not go down that path. Let's try and make a resolution. Let's try and resolve what we can for your township. Again, the extended offer is there. If you take it up, great. If you don't want to, that's fine too. Nothing changes except your status down the future. While we're looking at that, we're also looking at, of course, Gavin Newsom, Gino Gavin as I call him, Gino, governor in name only, and his continued attempts to sauce up this state while he's on the way out the door. We're now spending $300 million, or near to $300 million, on a special election. Notices have gone out, and I've already received mine, of the Prop 50 campaign nonsense that's ongoing here in California. If you recall, just a short time ago, we had the opportunity to recall Gavin Newsom for a special election to throw him out of office 8 months sooner than the election process of 2026. It might not have stopped all the damage, but it would have mitigated a lot of it. As it is, Mr. Gavin Newsom is now on tour, going to Stephen Colbert and other talk shows to formally tell everybody what's wrong with California and how much it's Trump's fault and the administration because of their failure to understand our unique way of political problems. What he's not telling you, however, is that the legislature is running pell-mell butt naked through the streets, not literally, but figuratively, as they're in the legislature doing as fast as they can, whatever they can, as quickly as it comes to their mind, to put it on paper, to pass it through, and then to put it on his desk for a signature. Many of us are trying to hope that he vetoes some of these laws that they're quickly passing through the legislature, but I don't actually see that coming to fruition. I don't see him doing anything on the rational sense for California except leaving it in the next year. So while we have all these bills that are hitting, Prop 50 being the main one of concern right now, even some members of the GOP politic are a little bit nervous as to the potential outcome of what may or may not happen. There's a lot of noise coming from the GOP right now as far as saving seats. Suddenly these folks are active. There's also the concern of new ABs that are coming out, one silencing dissent on the internet, one dealing with vaccinations, one dealing with criminalities. We seem to have a little bit of money for Prop 36, but not necessarily the amount needed. Some municipalities are starting to act against their unlawlessness and their criminal elements that are running around, reports of lots of arrests. Ladies and gentlemen, let me remind each and every one of you, please, 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 don't just listen to what the pundits say. Pay attention to what they're not saying. We have a number of people who are being arrested. How many people are actually being incarcerated? Where is the yowl that suddenly we have an overabundance of criminals inside of the jail and the prison system? It's not there. You don't hear it. So we might have a lot of people getting arrested for various crimes, but the question is, who's being sentenced, who's being convicted, and who's being sent away to serve time for those crimes as the punishment? And that's the question that needs to be asked, not how many people are being arrested. I care less how many people are being arrested. We've seen that for the last 5 or 6 years of people being arrested. And when we apply California state law to the arrests, they're released because they were nonviolent offenders. Case in point, that gentleman that decided to take his aggressions out on ABC down here in Sacramento. And he decided to pump 3 rounds into a lobby window from a car, drive-by shooting as they claim. And he was arrested too. And he was quickly released on $200,000 bond because his charges were not meeting the definition in California as serious violent offenses. I'm not sure what planet the legislature is from. I'm not sure what planet those people were born or where their thought processes are, much less where they were educated to be legislators. But how is firing a pistol into a building from a moving vehicle not considered a violent crime? And it was only by the grace of God that nobody in that building was injured by those bullets. So now we have that individual who's released out on bail for $200,000 because he doesn't meet that threshold, and lo and behold, the feds pick him up on the more serious violent charges that he should have been charged with in the first place. These are some of the problems that are impacting California, many things on many fronts, and I just wanted to let you folks know Leo Naranjo IV is looking into some of them. I'm definitely keeping track on a few, what's going here and there, trying to help out where I can, but also letting you know this is not a game of platitudes. This is not something where I'm going to make promises and guarantees to make fixes automatic. It's not happening. One last one I want you all to recall while we're on the precipice of Prop 50 voting. Back on the 4th of September, we had an individual that said they sued California to stop this gerrymandering mandate. Today is the 24th of September. Nothing happened. No news, no status. Where's the lawsuit? If you look online on the internet, you'll find that the papers themselves are blank and missing much of the important information that would be required to file into a court, much less to have the court acknowledge that you actually filed something. I could sit here and make promises all day long about what I'm going to file to stop Gavin Newsom from doing something against California, but it doesn't mean a hell of a high water of beans if I don't actually produce the papers that say it's been received in the court and they're getting ready to give me a court date after they review it. So let's not kid ourselves where we're at today. We need to take a long, hard look of what's going on. All the media attention is now focused on Prop 50. All the media attention is shifting off focus from Charlie Kirk and what happened to him. All the media attention is now starting to turn towards the return of Jimmy Kimmel, as if that's the most important thing in the world today. And now we have the newest one, the shooting up of an ICE detention facility by an individual in Dallas, Texas. We're constantly moving the target, we're moving our aim, and while we are doing that, and our party is doing that, the Democrats in the legislature are marching forward to do everything they possibly can to pooch California, to damage California, and in my mind, to financially harm this state at the expense of the citizens who reside in it, the millions that are here, and including the ones who are probably at this point throwing up their hands in resignations and trying to figure out how to get out of town and how to get out of Dodge and move somewhere else where sanity reigns and not insanity or stupidity. We have an upcoming event in the month of November. You've probably all seen and heard the posters, the flyers, the X posts, the Twitter posts, whichever you want to call them. 8th of November, San Marcos, California. The candidates for governorship are going to be there to be on the carpet to answer questions from the moderating crew that's in attendance. I plan on being there. A few other individuals that I've heard also plan on being there. And I would hope that the party sees fit to ensure that the top two candidates that they're telling us are the top two are going to show up also, because it's something that they should do for the public. It's not something that they should avoid because they're holier than thou. They don't feel like attending. There's no need to do something like this because they're in the number 1 and 2 seeds, so it doesn't matter. Or they just don't have time to mess with us little people in some type of a program like this. My challenge is for those people in those camps who are questioning, unsure, or unwilling to attend, think long and hard about what you're getting ready to not do if that's the actual road that you decide to travel upon. Right now we have it to where Republican candidates do not attack other Republican candidates simply because we're trying to be cordial, nice, and this is a friendly family moment. But the 8th of November is going to be very telling for all of us. That's 4 days after the special election. We're going to know exactly what happened to the Prop 50 problem in California. 4 days later, we're going to see candidates come up there, and all of us are going to give you our pitch as to why we should be governor of California for you folks out there to decide. And let me take one step further on that. Stakeholders to decide. I'm not talking about the legislative definition of what a stakeholder is. I'm talking about Leo Naranjo IV's definition of what a stakeholder is. Stakeholder to me is you, the public. The first and only stakeholder any legislature should be worried about, concerned with, or speaking with when it comes to funding anything using taxpayer money. Those are the stakeholders I'm talking about. So on the 8th of November, we're going to see where we're at. We're going to see where we stand. We're going to see if we have the mettle or we don't. As we start to see the candidates up close and personal give their views, opinions, and how they're going to's on the stage on the 8th of November. I look forward to it, and I'm very happy and excited for that chance and that opportunity. I'm sure many of the other candidates are as well. I want to thank each and every one of you very much for being here online, paying attention to this short little clip of a video. Many things are on it, many things were said, and for those people that are in the know, I'm pretty sure you know exactly who I'm talking at, to, and about. We're moving forward as fast as we can towards an election. We're also moving forward as fast as we can towards the destruction of our state. Thank you, state legislatures of the Democratic phase. And we also have a governor, Mr. Gino Gavin Newsom, who's more concerned with his view to the world stage, trying to make it to the 2028 election 3 years from now, as opposed to running this state and actually resolving some of the issues that we have inside of it before he leaves. But I digress. A true governor would do that. A true man would do that. A true gentleman and somebody who's a professional, a supposed business owner, someone who is educated would actually do that. but not Gino, and that's why I call him Gino. God bless. Take care. You all have a wonderful evening. I hope to see you tomorrow on the 25th of September. South Slope Wines and Bistro. Be there. Have a great afternoon.